I'd like to continue our journey in the book of Judges in chapter 14, dealing with the story of Samson and his riddle. He had given his famous riddle towards the beginning of 14. Out of the eater came forth food, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. Those at the feast, the men from the Philistines, had 7 days to answer this, and he was wagering the 30 linen tunics and the 30 sets of garments, but they couldn't find the answer. This riddle really stumped them. They went to the wife. The wife tried to get the answer from Samson, and Samson said, I can't give it to you. I haven't even given it to my parents. But then the wife-to-be wept for 7 days. Ooh, imagine that. Weeping for 7 days. There you are with your wife-to-be. That is getting ready for this wedding banquet, this wedding feast, and gee, she's weeping. Not a good sign. So on the 7th day, Samson finally told her the answer to the riddle. He gave in. She was persistent. Samson said, okay, here's the answer. And of course, she goes and tells her countrymen, because they're on her case, saying they're going to do nasty things to her, and not only to her, but to her family. So what is she to do? So she tells the countrymen. So on the 7th day, after they got the information from his wife, they go to Samson. And they say, what is sweeter than honey? And what is stronger than a lion? The answer. What is sweeter than honey? And what is stronger than a lion? Exactly what Samson had encountered with the lion and with the honey. So Samson replies and says, well, if you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle. So they were plowing with his heifer, referring to his wife as a cow. I mean, not the best comparison, but he was upset, he was angry, and he knew that for all these days they did not get the answer, that they finally got it from where? From his wife. He had told. So the Spirit of the Lord then comes down upon a very angry Samson, not happy with this. He goes down to Ashkelon, a Philistine stronghold, and killed 30 of their men down there, and took their garments, and gave those garments to the men who had answered the riddle. So Samson's not going to spend any money of his money on buying garments. He goes down, he just kills them, gets their garments, takes those 30 garments, and gives them as the payment, because he had made a bet, and he wanted to keep his bet, keep his promise, keep his word. His word was important. But of course, in doing that, he ended up killing 30 others. Really not a good thing, right, to kill those 30 others. Samson then went off to his own family in anger. He leaves the bride. Of course, it was endogamous marriage, so in that type of endogamous marriage, uh, he would be separate from his wife. The wife would stay with the family, and he would come and visit the wife. So it wasn't all that extraordinary what he did. But then Samson's wife gets married to the man who was the best man at the wedding. So I guess she figured Samson's angry, he's not going to come back. What am I going to do? I'm going to go, and I'm going to marry the best man. Crazy, right? So there's Samson, he, in a way loses the riddle, the bet about the riddle, because it was through the wife, but then also loses the wife, who was so upset and was crying. And you can see it from the wife's point of view, because she knew what would happen. These 30 men would take vengeance on her, not only on her, but on her family, and she wanted to protect her family. So in chapter 15, we have Samson again, and he's going to visit his wife. He was married to her, even though he left the endogamous marriage, which she's going to live with the family. So he brings a kid because when you came to visit your wife in the endogamous marriage, part of the ritual was to bring a present to the wife. And not only to the wife, but away to the family. And of course, the kid would have been a great present, to add to their flocks. He tells the father that he wants to be with his wife in private. He's a married man. He wants to have relations with the wife. He doesn't want the dad around and the family around. So he says, let me, have my relationship with my wife in private, which you can understand he would want to do. The father, though, doesn't let him enter. Says, Samson, you can't come in. Samson said, well, I'm married to her. I can't come in. The father told Samson that he thought that Samson was going to repudiate his wife, divorce his wife, because of what happened, because she had told the answer to the riddle. And he had gone off angry, so the supposition was the relationship was over. He's angry, he's upset. He's upset with these 30 men and what they had done. He had to kill the other 30 to get the garments. He's upset about that. And so he's angry. And the natural assumption would be the marriage is over. Not only is he angry at these 30 individuals, but of course he's angry at his wife because she was the one who told. So he's extremely angry. So he tells Samson, because I thought you were going to divorce her and repudiate her, what I did was I gave her to your best man. You can just imagine Samson hearing this. I mean, he was angry before at what happened. That was just the riddle. But now, giving my wife to the best man, wow. Samson's really upset at that. So he sees that Samson is angry, notices it, obviously. So he says, well, Samson, you're angry about this. I can see why you're upset. You wanted to be with her. Why don't we do this? She has a younger sister. The younger sister is even more beautiful than she is. She's a true beauty. She's wonderful. Why don't you take her? Take the younger sister. Samson is like, well, I didn't want the younger sister. I wanted her. So Samson says to the Philistines, now you can't blame me if I do harm to you because of what you've done to me. So now we're going to see, as chapter 15 continues, the harm that Samson is going to do.